Welcome to Sari, Conversations with Mimi, a weekly podcast by Dinosocial, also a member of the Guerrilla Podcast Syndicate. Sari is where we can show that ordinary people do extraordinary things. Tune in to be entertained and to learn something new with your host, Mimi Lorilla.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Sari Conversations with Mimi, a podcast featuring hot topics and all other topics of interest for both women and men alike. I'm your host, Mimi Laurelia, and today we will again have another person who we love to have back in the show because we're not going to talk about what season 2 is all about. So you guys know that season 2 is about people who work online, whether they are business owners, people who have projects or passion or activities that they pivoted from not being online, so the traditional way, to being online because of the pandemic or because of other reasons. And from time to time, we go back to Samutsari's roots, which is to discuss why people thrive in their environment. As I always say, and what the motto of this show is all about, we feature people who are seemingly ordinary but are doing extraordinary things. And today, I'm really excited to bring back to the show my good friend Carol Dado Nieto, who will talk to us about the month of October, which is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So before I continue going on and on about this special topic, I'd like to give Carol a chance to say hello again to our viewers and our listeners. Hello, Carol, and welcome back to Sari.
Hello, Mimi. Hello, viewers of Sari. Thank you for having me here again in your very great and successful program.
Yeah, and thriving naman kahit papano.
Yep.
So, Carol, I'm so excited to see you again because if people are really following our show, they would have noticed that you guested in my show last year during its early days. So we talked about your career in the Philippines before you moved to New Zealand in a man's world because your field of endeavor is predominantly a male-dominated field, and that's architecture. And so you explained to us how you tried to demystify the myth that field is only for men. And you talked about your designing, and then part of our conversation last year, we talked about your cancer journey. So a year has passed. Ang bilis ng panahon. So you're still looking great and you're still this bubbly person. So I think ikaw talagang dapat ang makasama ko sa episode na to observe the whole month of October, which is Australia's Breast Awareness Month. I'm not sure whether it's still the same Breast Awareness Month in other countries because I know this is an international event. But as far as New Zealand and Australia are concerned, I think October is around the time that we talk about cancer. And there's nothing na dapat ikahiya or this is not something we should hide, but we need to celebrate. Minsan pa nga nagpapa-morning tea pa nga yung mga iba't ibang groups to help with the cancer awareness. So just to give a little bit of a context for those first time viewing our show with you and they did not see the previous episode, tell us a little bit about yourself, Carol, ulit, just as a review, and why are we talking about breast cancer with you? So just very briefly, medyo rewind lang tayo ng konti. So what can you tell us about yourself and your breast cancer journey?
Well, I'm a mother with one child, and I was born in the Philippines, and we migrated to New Zealand. And years after that, after giving birth to my child, 7 years after that, we went here to Melbourne because of the job offer that my husband received here in Melbourne. So until now, we're still currently here in Melbourne, but we're still a New Zealander, just to let you know, Filipino
Yeah.
New Zealander. My son is not yet deciding whether he wants to be an Australian or he wants to keep his identity as a New Zealander.
Yeah.
Anyway, I had been diagnosed year 2018, but that time we were in the Philippines having a vacation, and during that time I felt a pinch in my left breast. So that is, I never had experienced that before. So when we came back here to Melbourne, went to see my GP, but on that first meeting, she couldn't feel anything. So she didn't bother about it. I didn't bother. But the following month, it came back, and then went again to my GP and asked for the ultrasound and a mammogram. But time I was only 48 years old. You cannot get a mammogram for free. It's not included in the Medicare. So I just said, I don't care. I'm gonna have, if I have to pay, just to get that diagnosis that I don't have it, So she gave me the recommendation to do that. So I went to the clinic and did all the tests. And days following from that result, I have it. She
Yeah, you
told me that-
confirm. Okay, cliffhanger muna tayo, Carol. We'll do a cliffhanger kasi medyo na-intriga na ako sa story. We'll discuss that in greater detail. Hihimay-himayin natin. So, just to backtrack, I think the reason, for those who have just tuned in late, so I have here Carol Nieto as a guest in our program for today, and we're talking about breast cancer awareness as part of the Australian Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I think we need to explain to them why it is important for us to discuss this. There are many factors to say, Carol. One thing is maybe cultural. There's an association na cancer is really a scary word. My mom used to be a cancer survivor herself, but it's cervical cancer naman nagkaroon siya. So to me, I need to celebrate that because she survived it, and I need to help with the awareness. So that's where I'm coming from. Alam ko, you are an advocate of this because of your personal journey and your story, which we will reveal nga later on, yung patuloy na journey mo. And the other thing that I think Carol and I both agree is we need not be scared about this. Kasi kaya tayo hindi siguro nagsasabi na may nararamdaman tayo because of maybe the stigma that's associated with it, or maybe it's the ignorance. You know naman, as women, especially pag naging nanay ka na, lahat na ng mga sakit-sakit sa katawan mo, you just say it's a part of being a mother, it's just a part of your physical activity. And because ayaw natin as women na makaabala. That is, I don't know the English word for that, makaabala, but we don't want to be a burden to other people. We tend to keep it to ourselves. Pero hindi natin na-realize that when things are about ourselves, we need to pay more attention to it kasi what happens to us affects the rest of our family members. So if you feel like what Carol said, she felt something different, she felt this unusual pain that didn't want to go away, and if you probably have the same thing that you couldn't explain, you do have to see your doctor. In Carol's case, she's seen the GP, the general practitioner. So that's just a generalist doctor here in Australia. And then the GP will refer you to a specialist. And the specialist will be the one to recommend that you take the mammogram like what you did, Carol. So I also had taken my mammogram last year, or was it
Yeah.
late 2019 or early 2020? Even before I reached the age of 50, then I did that
Yeah.
because you influenced me to do it. And
Mm.
I want to influence other Filipino women to do it, because there are statistics here in Windham, where we live, Windham City, saying that there are many Filipinos of Filipino descent, whether you are a New Zealand citizen, Australian citizen,
Mm.
been you migrated here from the Philippines. There are so many Filipinos now that don't Filipino women that don't take up the offer of the breast screening program. So
Mm.
that's my other reason why I wanted to spread the word, because it is important for us to look after ourselves, and I want the Filipinos represented in the statistics. So
Yes.
we should not be scared. So no matter where you are, or if you have a family
Mm.
member, a mom, an auntie, a sister,
Yes.
somebody, a friend, a female friend that you think may be saying things to you that
Yeah.
may be associated to cancer, don't leave it. Wag
Right.
yung hindi pansinin. You have to pay attention to that. So, Carol, based on my research, marami daw factors yan eh. It could be your lifestyle, it could be your diet, it could be hereditary, it could be your environment, working environment, or it could be the way you raised your kid, like number of kids, or whether you breastfed your kids or not. Maraming ako nababasa na different factors that may contribute to having cancer. In your case, what was it that the doctor said was the major contributing factor to you getting it when you discovered you had it?
Well, with their study, they discovered it is hormonal. So the only thing that they said, they didn't say that you didn't get too much sleep at night, or maybe it's because of your lifestyle. No, wala silang sabi, because they cannot prove it. Science can prove that from your diet, from your environment. No science can prove it until now. But the only thing they can do is to physically examine the tumor, the behavior of the tumor. What does it fed? Some tumor, it fed sugar.
Okay.
Mine, the tumor that I got, the cell of that tumor that I got, it fed the hormones.
Okay.
So which is that includes that during the period that I was couldn't get pregnant, I have to go to the fertility doctor, and I'm PCOS. I'm a PCOS. I have this PCOS with me. My menstruation is very irregular.
Yeah.
So it's all, I really do have a problem with hormones. So when I got that tumor, when they found a tumor in my breast, they will examine it. They'll put it in the laboratory and they will examine it. What is the character of this tumor? So they found it. So they found it that it's feeding the hormones. So imbalance talaga yung hormones ko. So don't understand me that too much hormones na imbalance, yun ang nag-feed doon sa tumor na nakuha sa akin. Got it already. So nagkaroon na sila ng plan about it.
Yeah.
They will put in 16 cycle of after the operation. They took the tumor and then nag-spread na doon sa dalawang lymph nodes. Kinuha na rin nila yon. So but the diagnosis, ang pinaka best talaga is always the early detection.
That's
right. Don't wait for it na malala na, because nga inaano natin, hindi natin
Pinapansin. Ano yan, isinasawalang bahala lang natin, something like that.
Or we're scared to know. That's one important na napansin ko. We are scared to know. But as what you said, huwag nga tayong matakot, no? You have to find it out. Kulitin mo ng kulitin yung GP. I didn't find anything. Kulitin mo siya ng kulitin or punta ka sa ibang GP. Magpa-second ka.
Okay.
Whether you symptoms, but you know that in your family, nagkaroon.
Yeah. That's it. That's another thing. Yeah. I agree. Yeah.
So, you should be aware. Like, what happened to me, I have 2 sisters. Nagpa-check up na rin sila. Just to make sure that they don't have it, or if they have it, if they do have it, at least it's early.
Yeah. Tama ka dyan. Tama ka. Ano mo, so, Carol, I think yung sinabi mo kanina na hit the target sa akin talaga, yung sinabi mo na kung hormone siya, yon ang dapat i-focus ng science, ng medicine. So, meron kasi akong kilala na talagang healthy lifestyle, healthy living, conscious sa diet, and still nagkakaroon pa rin, ano? Pero yung sinabi mo, it's so technical na para sa akin, yung shame mawawala na kung alam mo naman na technical yung nangyayari, technical din ang laban mo. So, in your case, if it's the hormone, the doctors know how to attack the feeding mechanism or system. Pero science aside, there's another thing around knowing na nagkaroon ka. This is a very personal question. So you may or may not answer this, so just let me know. Nung nalaman mo na meron ka, what was your reaction? Were you the type of person who said, lalabanan ko to? Or were you the type of person who feeling na parang nanlumo na yung buong mundo mo, na nag-worry ka na agad? Or did you just cautiously approach this to say, okay, don't panic, this will be okay, at least in Australia, there's 89% to a bigger chance that this will be treated correctly, and in due time, I will get better. In your personal experience, ano yung naging approach mo when you heard about it?
Well, yung first day nung inano na nung GP ko, so I have to undergo biopsy. Pero, so may schedule yon, so may days pa ako to think about what's really going on, kung ano mangyayari sa buhay ko. Pero to tell you the truth, para akong bata, which is one of my character, na palagi akong delayed reaction. Palagi akong delayed reaction. Nung nalaman ko yon, parang sige nga, tingnan natin kung how far will I go in this. Tapos, wala akong iniisip about it. At ibang bagay yung mga iniisip ko. Iniisip ko yung kalat sa bahay, iniisip ko yung kakainin namin, yung dinner na lulutuin after that day. And, yun na nga, nung dumating na yung biopsy, binayopsy ako, kumuha ng sample ng cell, ganyan. And then the following week, nandun na kami sa hospital and all. At sinabi na nga na ng specialista na ni-recommend ng GP na I'm sorry to tell you that you have cancer. I didn't cry. I don't know why. Pero hindi ako nagpanic. I didn't cry. And then, so what's the next step? Ganyan. Is it ano na ba, worse ba o ano? Hindi pa rin nila alam. They're still examining the kwan. So inano na nila ako, in-schedule na agad nila ako for operation para tanggalin na yung tumor. Tanggalin agad yun. Kasi it's not enough dun sa biopsy. They couldn't tell kung ano talaga yung cell na yon, yung character ng cell na yon. So nag-undergo na ako by November. Nag-undergo na ako ng ano. In fact, September yung pinaka first day na pinilit ko talaga magpa-ultrasound for that. By November, nasa operating room na ako. tinanggal na yun, ano. One day, ano lang yun,
One-day procedure.
one day procedure lang yun. I don't need to be confined. After that, uwi na ako. No? And that's it. And then, the next day, naglakwatsa pa kami ng mga barkada ko. And then sinabi ko, I had the biopsy and then I have cancer na inoperahan na ako, ganyan-ganyan. And then, sila nag-iyakan. And that's the time I realized I'm in a big trouble. Realize, nag-iyakan yung mga kasama kong friend. Nasa shopping mall kami. Nag-iyakan sila nung sinabi ko. And then, that's the time na doon ko lang na-realize na, oh shit, I'm in a big trouble. Parang ganun. Oo. And
so talagang feel mo yung care nila sa'yo because they cried for you when you yourself didn't think about that in that way. You just thought, okay, they just had to remove it. Then after they remove it, I'll be fine. So fast forward na tayo, Carol. When you needed to start the chemo process, how is it like for you? Yung process na yon. I hear stories about yung mental health mo, yung mood swings mo. I also hear stories yung physical strength mo. And obviously, some people lose hair in the process or nagkakaroon ng mga singaw-singaw. So in your personal experience, how was that like for you? Because we have to be realistic in explaining to people what they would probably go through as well if they have to go through the chemo rounds or any form of radiation therapy.
So, nung ano na yon, hindi death ang nasa isip ko. Yung mga unang stage, hindi. Sabi ko, let's fix this. Yun ang sabi ko, they will fix me. Yun ang sinabi ko sa loob ko na I'm in Australia and they will fix me. And then, so, nag-ano na nga, tinawag na ako para sabihin kung ano yung magiging plan for treatment. At sinabi nila yung chemotherapy. Sinabi sa akin yung 16 rounds of chemotherapy. And then yung mga radio treatment na gagawin sa akin. Doon ako naiyak. Kasi
bakit ka naiyak, Carol? Ba't ka naiyak? Naawa ka ba sa sarili mo? Or feeling mo hindi mo makakayanan yung treatment? Or naiisip mo si Charles tsaka si Archie? What was going on in your mind?
Isip ko talaga yung mag-ama ko. Not because of them, but because of are they gonna suffer the same thing na makikita nila ako nagsasuffer during the treatment. No, yung makikita nilang kalbo ko, makikita ba nilang nag-aano yung lips ko, ganon, yung mga nakikita nila sa physical body ko. Doon ako naiyak na makikita nila yon at may experience nila yon sa akin na ganon. Doon. So, but aside from that, nung inano naman sa akin kung ano yung kung anong stage ako, kung ano yung sabi naman sa akin is there's nothing to worry kasi it is an early detection. But then 16 early detection pero 16 rounds yung chemo ko plus radio, talagang they will really overhaul me talaga.
Yeah.
For that. So ako naman parang doon pa lang sa point na yun, ang naisip ko, napakagaling ko talaga. Kasi talagang in-insist ko na maano yon, na mangyari yung check-up na yon. No? So, I was in a right time na hindi ako napuruhan ng cancer. Pala yung ginawa ko na kinulit ko yung GP ko, in-insist ko yan, tama lang pala yun. So, in that point, parang sabi ko, na ako sa sarili ko. I mean, I did something. I know that I did something right.
Yeah. So, what was the typical chemo session naman, what does it involve? What does it entail? So, I remember you telling me na parang pagod ka talaga after the chemo session. So, what is that session? Paano ka ba binubugbog ng chemotherapy na yon? What do they do to you?
Actually, the 16 rounds yun. On the 8th round, doon na ako parang nakaramdam ng anxiety. And then, maano yung loob ko. But my body is still strong. Hindi ako nakakaramdam ng panghihina. Pero yung ako ang hindi ko kaya. Nagkaka-anxiety ako. And then, ang nakakaano kasi pag pumasok ka na dun sa area ng ikikimo ka na, you will see the same faces. Nakasabay ng... And then, on the next week ng another chemo, hindi mo na makita yung isa. Doon ka nagpapanik.
Baka naman nagbago lang yung schedule niya. Huwag ka masyado mag-panic.
Wala na yung isa. Yung isa pa ko nakikita every time nakasabay ko. Alam mo yung ganon. So, ang ginagawa, yung mga last half of my treatment, sinasara na nila yung curtain ko.
Okay, para hindi mo na sila papansinin. So, talaga palang part of the journey is knowing yourself, supporting yourself, trying to think positively as much as you can, concentrate on what you're doing, at huwag kang masyadong mag-worry sa iba. Parang ganun yung napipick up ko sa'yo. Although mahirap siyang gawin, you have to do it. You have to do some self-control in a way.
So, pero ang umano sa akin doon, ang nakatulong sa akin, ang inisip ko is, don't let this disease control you. Don't let it control you. So, inano ko talaga yon. Inano ko talaga yung ganon. Kaya, after the treatment, the next day, nasa Lakwatsa na uli ako. Yung mga friends ko.
Living your life as normally as you can. Something like that.
Yes. And then, hindi ako na, eto pang nakakatawa, syempre nakalbo ko. But prior to that, yung first chemo ko, okay, hindi ako natatawa pero nag-aano yung curiosity ko. Ganito pala ang ginagawa, ganito pala ang surroundings ng mga kinikimo, ganyan-ganyan. And then, yung unang nilalagay sa'yo, yung first 3 na treatment na gagawin sa'yo, yun yung pinaka-strong. So, ang expected sa'yo, bigla ka manghina. But then, hindi nangyari sa akin yun. Pag uwi ko, parang normal lang uli ako, ganyan. Meron pa akong buhok. Pero 3 days after that first nalagas na. 3 days after that first chemo. So, nanonood ako ng TV, ginagano ko yung hair ko, and then nakita ni Archie, ng asawa ko, yung isang dakot na hair na nasa kamay ko. And then, immediately, so ang ginawa ko, kumuha na lang ako ng plastic bag, isa-isa ko na nang tinatanggal, without me crying. Basta tinatanggal ko lang siya isa-isa. Tinatanggal ko, kasi ayoko magkalat siya sa buong bahay. In a span of an hour na ginaganong ko, hinihila ko, tapos nilalagay ko sa plastic bag, nakikita ng asawa ko yung ginagawa ko. Hanggang after an hour, walang-wala na talaga akong hair. Doon na niya ako nilabas, dinala sa mall, bumili na kami ng wig.
Okay, so you decided to do to have a wig instead of leaving it free and letting it be. So, in terms of your self-image naman, hindi ka ba naawa sa sarili mo dahil nawalan ka ng hair? Or alam mo naman na babalik din siya eventually? Or naawa ka lang sa fact na makikita ka na kakaiba sa dati mong anyo? Did that ever happen to you?
Hindi din eh. Ewan ko ba kung bakit ganun ako. Kasi ever since naman nung dalaga ako, hindi ko masyadong pinupuna yung physical ko. Kahit sinasabihan ako, ang ganda mo, yung mga ganon, na ang ganda ng hair mo, ganon. Lalo na nung kulot na kulot talaga yung hair ko. I just don't mind it. I mean, hindi ako masyadong nagpe-pay attention sa physical look ko.
Okay.
And sa akin, nakalbo ko, hindi rin ako masyadong na I don't know why, pero ganun talaga yung mind, my physical outlook talaga. It's just like, kaya ako bumili ng wig para maging presentable lang ako doon sa makakakita sa akin.
Yeah.
Kasi yun ang ayaw ko, yung maaawa sila.
Yeah.
Makikita ko yung awa, no? So kahit sa husband ko at sa anak ko, I don't wanna see that pity face.
Dapat trying to be as normal as possible pa rin, as much as you can. So Carol, 16 rounds, natapos na siya. When do you what happens next after 16 rounds? Ganun-ganun na lang ba yon? Paano mo malalaman na okay ka na? Paano mo malalaman na kailangan mo pa ulit? What's the process like?
After the round, hindi pa yun. Nag-rest pa muna ako ng mga 2 weeks and then sumunod na yung radio therapy ko. So yung radiotherapy ko, that is weekly. I think the radiotherapy lasted, I can't remember, but 10 visits of radiotherapy, and it happens like every week. The thing is, Archie is so busy na talaga. Instead of me taking, alam mo yung pinapataxi niya ako and all, mag-take ng taxi or Uber, minsan talaga parang gusto kong not because of nagtitipid or what, pero nafe-feel ko mas gusto kong maglakad ng mahaba. So I take the bus and I take the train with my mask on for prevention. That's it. So I take pag nagtitrain, di ba sa Williams Landing, may hagdanan pa dyan na mataas. So instead na nag-elevator ako, naghahagdanan pa ako. Parang inaalam ko yung sarili ko kung ano naging effect ba sa akin ng chemo? Humina ba ako o lumakas? So during that time, wala. Parang I still feel na strong pa rin ako before. So, ganon. Yun ang ginagawa ko every week na pupunta ako sa hospital, sa Sunshine Hospital for the radiotherapy. But after the radiotherapy, nandiyan na si Archie, kukunin na niya ako, susunduin na niya ako kasi yun na yung time ng niya, tapos na ng trabaho niya. And then si Charles, susunduin na rin namin. So naging okay naman lahat but during the whole of that whole treatment and whole event of that and the scenario of that, never kami nag-usap ng asawa ko about the disease. I don't know why, pero we choose not to talk about it. He choose not to ask anything. He choose not to ask any question. I choose not to ask any question as well or talk about it. We just move on with our everyday, and that's it. And then we go to the doctor. I go to my treatments. And that's it. But we don't talk about it. I don't tell him na, if this anything happen, ganyan. Hindi kami naging. Kaya nung dumating yung time ng birthday ko, doon na lang talaga siya nag-burst.
Parang it remained for the longest time the elephant in the room. Parang you were both struggling with this situation, pero you never, for some reason, opened up about it. Either you're scared to discuss it or parang gusto niyo lang talagang maging as normal as possible yung life ninyo, no? So, yun nga, you celebrated your 50th. That was a way to really celebrate and celebrate you as a person as well. So, after that, may mga follow-up checkups pa ba? Or sinabi mo na ba ng doktor, you're good as gold now, you're fixed, you can go on, move on with your life and worry-free? Is that what the next chapter of what happened?
Well, before my 50th birthday celebration, yun na nga, that week, like 3 days before the celebration, sinabi na sa akin ng oncologist ko that I'm free from cancer. There's no more cancer anymore. Kasi nag-undergo na ako ng MRI uli, blood test and all. Nakitang traces of cancer sa cell ko. So, which is a good news. No? At ang sabi ng oncologist ko, palagi ko naiisip yun eh. Sabi niya, forget about what happened to you. Move on and forget about what happened to you.
So parang mindset pa rin talaga. Parang the medical side of it is parang okay, nangyari na to, let's move on. It's how you approach this which makes you an inspirational person because you are teaching us na kahit na ano pang gaano kabigat ang may nangyari sa buhay mo, kung nasa tamang mindset ka, talagang it will overcome your fear. Kasi minsan the fear, the worry is what brings you down. And I think yung approach ni Archie, which is not to really dwell on it, if you want to call it dwell on it, also help. So, Carol, ano na bang mga nangyayari ngayon? So, after a year, ano bang alam mo ng mga advances na ngayon sa cancer research or being an advocate? Ano mga things na pwede mo pang i-share sa ating mga listeners from your story?
Well, ang ano nga lang talaga is the early prevention, early detection, no? You have to, vigilant about your body. Not only about breast cancer, with other cancer as well. When you reach the age of 50, like after reaching the age of 50, meron na akong natanggap sa mail na pang-test ng colon cancer. You have to do that for yourself. So, check your skin, you know? Kasi tayong Pilipino, hindi, brown skin ako, hindi ako magkakaroon yan. But if you're gonna ask your GP about it, kasi ako curious eh, so I did ask my GP about the skin cancer and all. Sinabi niya, in Australia, kahit yung yung blackest skin color, kakaroon pa rin daw.
Wow. So nobody is spared against skin cancer.
Your skin, go check it. Pa-check mo habang tuldok pa lang 'yan. No? So and colon cancer pag binigyan ka ng walang pala yun eh, walang symptoms. Wala.
We already had it and pareho kaming negative ni Jarvis, fortunately.
Dadala ng kit for test and then gagawin mo. Huwag mong huwag mong ignore yon. Use it. Sayang eh. It's free. In the Philippines, hindi free yan.
That's right.
Diba? So, gamitin mo. No? So, that's it. So, kapag wala ka, okay, wala. Celebrate about it. You know? Yun ang dun eh. Ang pinaka-best pa rin palagi is early prevention and early detection. Kasi, although, kahit stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, I'll have to let everybody know it's not the end of it. Yung nakikita lang natin sa TV, nakikita lang natin sa Facebook na matay because of the stage 3, stage 4 cancer. Hindi eh. Those are lang nakikita natin, pero yung dami ng gumaling, hindi natin nakikitang ina-expose sa media. Sa dami ng gumagaling. 90% gumagaling eh. Yung mga nakikita lang natin sa TV, sa commercial, sa TV, or sa news, or sa those are the 0.001%.
Yan ang hina-highlight instead of highlighting the success. Kasi cancer research has developed all throughout the years. Parang with the advances in research, I really believe na we're on top of fighting this. Very sophisticated na yung kaalaman ng mga oncologists, yung mga cancer specialists. They really know what they're doing. And ako nga, nag-breast screening nga ako, ang babata pa ng mga doktor na nagda-diagnose, nagre-read nung mga test. So, Wow, I wish, I could have a son or a daughter that could do that. Obviously, iba ang path nun at iba ang passion ng mga yon. Pero that's an area that is still, malaking wide ang opportunity sa cancer research and if you want to go to medicine. So, is there anything else na on the emotional side naman, ano ang message mo sa mga women na maaring kasalukuyan may pinagdaraanan na takot rin sa magiging future nila? Anong message mo sa kanila, Carol?
Well, don't think about the future. Just think about what is now. Ano yung ngayon. If you have it, then surely they can fix you. No? Especially, you're already here in Australia. Ang difference lang talaga sa atin, back in the Philippines, kung nandun ako, nangyari yon, unang iisipin ko pera. With myself, with that amount of money, saan ako kukuha ng pera? Yon. Well, here in Australia, parking space lang ng hospital ang binayaran namin. So, unlike, kung nangyari sa akin to, nung nasa Pilipinas pa ako, maybe yung stress nandoon because of the financial. I mean, paano ka gagaling kung stress ka?
Correct.
Diba? Dito, wala akong inisip any finances or anything. And the only thing they can do is to fix me. And aside from, if you're undergoing, and then I realize, I have this kind of, ewan ko, voluntary thing na ginagawa ko para sa sarili ko. Ever since ginagawa ko to during the time na I'm trying to get pregnant with my son. And then, we go visit a fertility doctor. In New Zealand, it is also free. Kaya sa Pilipinas, they will charge you like million of pesos for that treatment, only to have one child. In New Zealand, they will give you that for free. So, wala kang stress. No?
Mag-focus ka na lang sa dapat mong gawin, di ba?
You have to contribute also with yourself. You have to contribute something. So, during that time, I was trying to get pregnant. I visit the doctor. Of course, the doctor, they're not gods. They cannot make miracle. But then you have to do also something for yourself, like change your diet, lose some weight, exercise, all. So that at least masasabi mo, kung hindi nga nangyari, at least nakagawa rin ako ng way para sa sarili ko, no? So nobody can blame me kung hindi pa rin ako nagkaanak.
Yeah.
No one can blame. Hindi ako asa sa mga doctors. Kinontribute ko rin yung sarili ko to help me get pregnant. So, nangyari uli yung event. This time, I got the breast cancer. So, hindi ako nagstay lang sa mga treatment. I have to do something for myself also. So, I changed my diet. I eat healthy food. I exercise. I go walking. Change ko rin yung ng mood ko na I try to be as much as possible happy all the time. No, not to think of it. Pero it really helped that you're in this kind of place. It also helped na hindi ka mai-stress. Kasi minsan kahit sa Pilipinas, nai-stress ka talaga. And everybody knows naman, di ba, why. Pero dito, I try to be happy with small things. No?
So practice gratefulness then. We're very grateful and we're very appreciative of what we have here in this country. Enabling us to do what we want to do with our lives, di ba? So it's such a privilege in a way to be able to live this kind of life.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, Carol. So, any last
Yes,
message
true.
before we
during
go? Carol,
Mm-hmm.
your turn.
Well, yes. Okay. Um, Yun na nga. So, before we go, my message to everybody, not only women, but also men, to be vigilant with your health. No? If you find something, a little symptoms, or you worry about something, go to your doctor. No? And if the doctor don't worry about it, but you know your instinct that I need to do this so that they will supersede it if I don't have it. So it will worry you less, no? And then they'll find what was the problem sa katawan mo. So yun ang inaano ko, yun ang advocating, not only breast, not only for women but also for men. And if you find out that you have aunties, sister, brother na nagkaroon ng problem, you have to know that you need to find or see for yourself if you also have it, because it goes with the gene as well. Yun din ang ano doon. But then ang pinaka ano diyan is early prevention or early detection. And don't say na, oh, I eat healthy food, I go exercise every day, but nagkakaano pa rin, no? So yun ang palagi kong sinasabi sa mga friends ko, sa mga kakilala ko, na check yourself out, check yourself every day, especially when you're in the shower, check yourself, no? And that's it. And then when people get into that ano na talaga, you don't need to worry, because they will fix you, they can fix you. And knowing that they can fix you, there's nothing more than anything important to you is to be with your family for that period na go ka ng treatment. And that's it. And you don't need to worry about it, because I'm telling you, ako mismo magsasabi sa inyo, 90% gumagaling. In any stage of cancer, gumagaling. Okay, tayong naniniwala sa mga nakikita natin sa TV, nababasa natin sa Facebook, na walang pag-asa ang cancer. Meron, mas marami ang gumagaling.
Napakataas na statistic na yung 90%. That is really, really high, and that is really, really good. So, Carol, I think your story and your message resonates to a lot of people. Kasi nga, kung ikaw nga, nakayanan mo, pinakita mo yung attitude mo, at pinakita mo na talagang you can, mayroong terminology sila dyan na-overcome mo siya, na surpass mo yung mga challenges na yan. You are a living proof that if you're doing the right thing, you will win over the fight. So, Thank you, Carol, for your sharing with us today. Like I said, this is a special episode where we talk about breast cancer awareness, being October, the month of cancer awareness here in Australia. So I really, really appreciate your time, Carol. So I think I have to officially close the program now. But before I do that, just in case people are interested to get in touch with you, okay lang ba sa'yo, Carol, na the people approach you if they have questions? Maybe through me na lang, they can i-message me and I forward the message to you para private yung pagpunta. We are all about privacy and confidentiality. So baka may mga nahihiya na lumabas. So through me na lang muna, and then they will contact you. Carol, I think as an advocate, she will be your your very good friend in this process. Kasi napagdaanan na niya lahat. She can advise you, she can support you, she can tell you things that only you and Carol can understand if you are going through the same thing. So this ends our show for today, everybody. Thank you so much for being with me today, Carol. And for those of you who are watching us, if you have any suggestions or topics that you wish me to tackle or discuss in the show, please send me an email. My email is in the show notes below. And SAMU'T Sari, I want to remind you guys, is a member of the Guerrilla Podcast Syndicate. This is a network of podcasters both in the Philippines and in Australia. Please tune in also to my Facebook page where I also showcase this aside from being on YouTube and Spotify. So thank you, Carol. Let's say goodbye to our viewers and listeners. I think there's a lot of things that you celebrate this month. Obviously being a survivor and you've overcome the challenges, but at the same time become a positive influence to others. So thank you, everyone, and sa susunod ulit, this is Mimi saying goodbye and see you next time. Bye!
If you find value in this episode, make sure you like and subscribe to be notified of new releases. If you have any questions or suggestions, please reach out to Guerrilla Podcast or send us an email at mimi@dinosocial.com. Spread the word and don't forget to tune in next time.